Welcome to today's explainer. Ever look at your bank account and just think, where on earth is all my hard work actually going? Trust me, you are not alone. Today, we're breaking down the 7 incredibly common money mistakes keeping the middle class poor. We're going to expose those invisible, totally normalized financial traps that are quietly draining wealth right out from under hardworking people while they aren't even looking. So let's dive right into this by asking a question that haunts so many of us. Why do you make more money but still feel completely broke at the end of the month? It's the ultimate paradox, right? You finally land that job making what you always thought of as adult money, yet somehow you feel even broker than when you were in college eating instant noodles. You get the promotion, you secure the bonus, but your bank account? Basically identical. We are setting the stage right now to reveal how the system is practically designed to keep you broke. From the tiny micro-level choices you make every single day, all the way up to the massive macro-level structural traps. Let's jump right into Section 1, the middle class illusion, earning more, keeping the same. This overarching psychological trap completely tricks your brain into thinking you're making financial progress, when in reality, you're just running faster and faster on the exact same hamster wheel. And that brings us to mistake number 1, lifestyle creep. Here's exactly how it sneaks up on you. Your income goes up, and quietly, invisibly, so does literally everything else. You get a raise, and suddenly you're justifying a much nicer apartment, a faster internet plan, or eating out twice a week instead of once. All of a sudden, those store-brand paper towels you used to buy just feel completely beneath you. Your brain is telling you, hey, this is progress, but that new bonus simply vanishes into higher rent and organic groceries. The trap isn't necessarily the spending itself, it's believing that more income automatically equals more freedom. But financial freedom only exists in the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Lifestyle creep completely wipes that gap out, leaving you comfortable, sure, but permanently broke at a higher salary. Moving on to Section 2, the daily income drains, death by 1,000 cuts. These are the small daily choices that feel completely harmless in the moment, but secretly bleed your finances dry. Which brings us to mistake number 2, paying for convenience. It always starts super innocently. You've had a brutal, exhausting day at work, you're just way too tired to cook, so you order dinner. I mean, it's just a $7 delivery fee, right? Oh, plus a small service charge, plus a tip. Next thing you know, you're doing Olympic-level mental gymnastics to justify a $15 upcharge for a burger that arrives completely cold, all just because you couldn't face washing a frying pan. Then, you add a subscription here and a premium feature there, a $15 streaming app you literally never watch, some cloud storage you completely forgot about, or a gym membership that's essentially just a monthly donation to a building you never visit. These things are all running silently in the background of your life, automatically pulling money from your account month after month without you even noticing. And oh, of course, the $12 express shipping. Because waiting 3 whole days for a package suddenly feels like an absolute eternity. You pay 12 extra bucks, which, let's be real, just means your buyer's remorse arrives 48 hours faster. We justify it because each choice trades just a tiny bit of money for a minor comfort. But the danger is in the repetition. You are not buying comfort, you are renting it forever at a massive compound cost. And guys, the math on this is absolutely merciless. $5 here, 12 there, 20 there. Just let that $6,000 figure sink in for a second. By the end of the year, these tiny, invisible conveniences have ripped up to $6,000 straight from your income. That is money that could have cleared a chunk of debt, fully funded an emergency account, or been invested to build actual generation-changing wealth. This brings us to mistake number 3, the minimum payment illusion. When you get a credit card statement for a $3,000 balance, a $60 minimum payment feels totally affordable, right? Your brain sees safety. You see a number you can easily manage, and you completely stop thinking about the math underneath. But here is the reality check. Maybe $10 of that payment actually touches your principal balance. The rest, poof, it vanishes into the bank's pocket as interest. This compound interest is a silent villain, literally growing your debt while you are fast asleep. At this rate, that $3,000 debt will take over 12 years to pay off, and it's going to cost you nearly $6,000 in total. The banks are not helping you manage debt, they are helping themselves to your future income. All right, stepping up from the daily drains, we arrive at Section 3, the status purchase prisons, financing a facade. Here we get into the massive structural mistakes that lock the middle class into literally decades of debt. Mistake number 4 is the car payment treadmill. The crucial point here is that you never actually own anything. You take a perfectly fine working car to the dealership, they promise you a lower monthly payment on a flashy new model, and bam, you sign on the dotted line. But how do they do it? They roll your old loan into the new one and stretch the term out to 7 long years. You're restarting the clock, constantly owing way more than the machine is actually worth, a ridiculously dangerous state called being upside down. You think you're upgrading, but let's be crystal clear here. You were just renting with extra steps and terrible terms, all while the person who bought once and kept their car has been driving for free for years. Then there's mistake number 5, the house poor reality. This happens the second you buy the absolute maximum house the bank approves you for. The bank says, hey, you qualify for a $400,000 mortgage, and you treat that like a green light. But you have to remember, the bank is only calculating the mortgage. They do not calculate the actual life that comes with it. Suddenly, property taxes are due. The AC dies in the middle of a sweltering July. The fridge gives out. Because your mortgage is eating half your income, one broken appliance becomes a full-blown financial crisis. You've essentially built yourself a beautiful financial prison where you're working just to keep the lights on and maintain the structure, instead of actually building a life inside of it. Which brings us to Section 4, the psychology of spending, purchasing temporary relief. Stepping away from the big structural purchases for a second, we really have to look at the emotional traps keeping those credit cards swiping. Mistake number 6 is retail therapy addiction. Now, this isn't just about liking nice stuff. It's a vicious psychological cycle. You have a stressful week, so you buy something to treat yourself. And it works for about an hour. You get that nice little dopamine hit. But the feeling fades incredibly fast, leaving you with your original stress plus a brand new charge on your credit card. And guess what? The anxiety and guilt over that new debt trigger the exact same urge to seek relief by shopping all over again. You are literally medicating with merchandise, paying interest on temporary relief. Shopping disguises itself as the cure when really it's becoming the disease. Finally, we reach Section 5, sabotaging your own future, the cost of waiting. These are the devastating long-term mindset mistakes that basically guarantee you will never escape the rat race. Part of this self-sabotage is what we call the emergency-free delusion. You're living paycheck to paycheck, assigning every single dollar to a bill, and hey, your budget balances perfectly. But only under the wild assumption that absolutely nothing will ever go wrong. You rely on this blind, impossible faith that your car will just run forever, your health will hold up, and your luck won't run out. And then reality hits. The transmission fails, a tooth cracks, the dog needs emergency surgery. Most people have less than $400 in savings, so out comes the credit card. Which should have been a minor bump in the road instantly becomes high-interest debt. Living without savings doesn't make you an optimist, it makes you exactly one breakdown away from total financial collapse. And all of this builds into our 7th and final mistake, the retirement delay. You tell yourself, oh, I'll start investing next year, when I make a little more money, when things settle down. But the data shows us the absolute brutal reality of compound interest. A dollar invested at 25 grows exponentially more than a dollar invested at 40. If you invest just $200 a month starting at age 25, you'll have over $500,000 by 65. But if you wait until you're 40 to make that exact same effort, you barely break 200,000. Waiting 10 years doesn't just mean you're starting 10 years late. It means you lose 30 years of massive, massive growth on the back end. I really want to leave you with this powerful realization straight from our source material. There is no right time. There's only compounding time. Whether it's putting a stop to lifestyle creep, finally cutting out those invisible conveniences, or just opening that investment account, waiting for the perfect financial conditions is an absolute illusion. Waiting is simply burning the one asset you can never, ever get back, and that is time. So my question for you is, which of these 7 mistakes are you going to stop making today? And which ones are going to keep you running on that hamster wheel?